Today we're going to be going over some fantastic head-turning warm weather scents that I think every guy should consider looking into. These are perfect for when it's starting to warm up outside and the sun's coming out, whether it's spring, summer, even early fall. When it's warm, these work great. A lot of these have kind of a nice casual vibe to them, you know, something that just is easygoing, fresh, and kind of relaxing smelling, but also a little bit upbeat and invigorating at the same time, just depending on what mood you're trying to go for. We have a really wide variety in here in terms of not only scent type, but even price point. We've got one, maybe two that are a little bit more expensive, but a lot of these are actually on the cheaper side of things. So I will provide links to all these down below if you want to pick some up at discounters. Feel free to use those links and it'll make it really easy, take you right where you need to go. Now, this first one, starting off nice and affordable here at about $35 to $40 is Rocus Loam. It's got blood orange, juniper berries, and a bit of a tonka bean note in here. Nice, fresh, citrus aromatic with a masculine, refined, and kind of just classy smell to it. And I know what you're thinking, refined, classy, you know, a little bit woody and aromatic. It sounds like an upscale, classy scent. It doesn't sound like something that could be worn casually, but it definitely can be. You could dress this one down and wear it all day long on vacation or just, you know, whatever casual activities that you're going for. But it does also have a bit of that utility where you could dress it up a little bit more if you wanted to. The thing that really draws me to this one especially is the price to quality / performance ratio. You know, if this was going for $80, like that's what you had to pay for it at discounters, it wouldn't be the same, right? It would still be a good scent, but the fact that you can get this one for generally right around 40, sometimes a little bit less depending on if you go tester or not, you know, it can be into the low to mid 30s. It's a great deal. It's a good performer, as I mentioned, which is another key bonus because a lot of these fresher, cheaper, aromatic style scents might not always have great longevity, but this one definitely does. This next one here is going to be a bit more pricey. Out of everything in this video, this is the most expensive scent. And after this, we're going back into the more affordable range. But I felt like this was a really good opportunity to feature this one. It's Creed Aventus Cologne. I really don't talk about it all that often. I talk a ton about the regular Aventus. Green Irish Tweed gets tossed around here and there, but mostly for me, when I'm talking about Creed, it's Creed Aventus. And sometimes it can be easy to forget that there's a cologne version. And well, there is. It's been out for a while now, and I really enjoy it. It's got orange, mint, musk, and of course that signature woody birch note that is found in the regular Aventus and Aventus Absolute and 10th anniversary edition and just whatever. Aventus, it's known for that birch smell, and this one still does have that. And the easiest way to put this one is that it's just a fresher, lighter, more kind of creamy version of Creed Aventus. And to me, Aventus has always been a summer scent. It's the time that I wear it the most usually is spring, summer, just when it's warm outside. So it's not like we necessarily needed to have this, but it does work out really well. And you can kind of compare it a little bit to Creed Aventus mixed with Chanel Allure Homme Sport. That's kind of what people say because of the orange in here and that creaminess that I mentioned, mixing with, of course, the Aventus DNA. That's kind of how it comes across. And it smells wonderful. It's going to be a little bit less money than the regular Aventus on discounters, but still expensive. You're still going to be up around $200 or a bit more for a 100 ml bottle like this. But as far as quality goes, it's top tier. Really great quality. Nothing about this is sharp or synthetic or anything. It's very smooth. Performance, not quite as good as the regular Aventus, but still good enough. You can have this next one here for about $40 or so. It's Versace Man Eau Fresh. Man, as far as having something that's light, fresh, smells like a day at the pool or a day at the beach, just summery and not a worry in the world, this is it right here. This could easily be your signature scent all summer long. You know, if you pick this one up and you really like how it smells, you could wear it every single day throughout the summer months. Chances are you're probably not going to get sick of it. You're going to be loving it, and everybody around you is really going to enjoy it as well. This is one of my first scents that I ever purchased. You know, this is kind of what I started my collection with. It was actually I got 2 bottles. This is not the first one. The other one I still have. It's barely empty. I mean, there's hardly anything left in that one. Got a little bit more in here. Could use another bottle though. Because admittedly, when I do wear this one, I apply it pretty heavily. Hence why this bottle's so low, and I've went through that first one and all of that stuff. You know, it's gonna be a little bit on the weaker side, but again, it's affordable, and that's nothing that a few extra sprays can't really fix. It's got lemon, bergamot, star fruit, and a ton of musk. Bright, fresh, relaxing, uplifting. It smells amazing. This stuff is perfect for the high heat. Let's go for Coach Open Road. Got to give them credit. This bottle presentation is incredible. Kind of takes a page out of Dior Homme, more specifically Dior Homme Sport, with the tall bottle, and then with a lot of those scents, you do get that, I guess, straw, for lack of a better word, that goes around the atomizer tube there in the middle, which just gives it some nice contrast, and it really makes the bottle look a little bit more expensive. Even though this is not all that expensive on discounters, small little details like that, it looks really aesthetically pleasing. I mean, this stuff, really well done bottle presentation. It's got Sichuan pepper, lemon, vetiver, and clary sage. Another fresh, bright, somewhat aromatic, kind of woody scent here that just works really well. You know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit? Every now and then when I smell it, I think of this particular scent. And it kind of has this John Varvatos kind of artisan / artisan black type of smell, a little bit. Even maybe a little bit of John Varvatos XX Artisan, the gray vetiver based scent, because this one also has a ton of vetiver. But it just kind of has that orange, woody type of smell, similar to a few of the OG John Varvatos Artisan scents. Definitely not a clone of those, and there's still plenty of differences as well. This one utilizing that Sichuan pepper, it has a bit more of a spicy kick to it. But just a little observation there. I guess you could kind of use that information to help place this one into a certain type of category if you are thinking about picking this one up or trying it. That's kind of somewhat what I would compare it to. Ultimately, to say it's not something that you've never smelled before. So chances are when you do apply this one, it might feel a little bit familiar. You might be like, have I smelled this before? Maybe you haven't from this, but you have smelled things similar to this, just in other scents. You know, it's a woody, aromatic, kind of citrusy scent. Again, using vetiver, which is pretty common and pretty popular these days. So if it seems familiar, that's because it probably is. However, it's still a great scent that is a perfect fit for this video topic. Let's go for Hugo Boss Selection up next. Man, I love this stuff. It's another affordable one, and I think we're looking at around, let's just play it safe and say $35. It probably, I don't know, it could be a bit more. Honestly, it could be a bit less. I can't remember. I feel like I've seen it for like 29 before, kind of a random number there, but I feel that way. So I don't know for sure, but I know it's well under $50 here. And at this point, if you can get something for $30 to $40 in this market with how expensive things are getting, that's kind of about a cheapie price. You know, cheapies used to be $15, $20, maybe even pushing $25 back when I was starting out, and that was a cheapie. You get into something that was $40, $45, $50, that's kind of mid-range price. But that's shifting, you know, and it's inevitable. It's going to happen as the prices keep going up on these. That bar is going to continue to raise as far as what is considered cheap. So it's just a kind of a pointless digression there, I guess, but this is affordable. We'll put it that way. It's got pink pepper, grapefruit, a lot of orange in here, and a ton of musk for sure. And that's apparent. The first time you spray this one on, a lot of musk, and then accompanied by those fruits and citruses there, that I just listed off. And while it sounds kind of basic, maybe even a bit boring perhaps, this is one where I would say, maybe you haven't smelled it before. Maybe it's not 100% unique, but it doesn't really have that same type of familiar smell that some of these others do. And so that right there is what I like about this one. There is a glimpse of uniqueness about this one that I like. And as I've said before with a lot of these more affordable scents, if this was going for double the price, which it probably does at retail, that changes things. Okay, so retail price, I wouldn't be doing that. There's just no need to. But when you can get stuff like this on discounters for, you know, let's say $30, $35, $40, man, it's just about a no-brainer because it's really good for that price point. Performance is even decent out of this one too. Quality is great. To me, it presents itself like a more expensive scent than what you can get it for. Like, I don't think this smells like a $35 scent. I think it smells like a bit more of an expensive scent. And you don't always get that with discounted scents. You know, even though it retails for $80, doesn't mean that it always smells like an $80 scent. Some of these, you know, these Calvin Kleins, just to throw one out there, and I'm not hating on the brand, but it's a reality. While they retail for, you know, $80, $85 sometimes, and they're discounted for $20, they smell more like a $20 scent. So definitely don't want to pay retail for those a lot of the times, but this one's really solid. Okay, we're kind of getting down to the end here. We're going to keep it pretty short and sweet, but we're going to start to wrap things up with Eros Energy. Okay, now I had to write all these notes down because I've just been kind of spitballing it or just off the top of my head before. But I went in and looked, and I mean, get a load of this. If you haven't looked up the note breakdown on this one, it is pretty wild, and this isn't even all of them. Lemon, lime, grapefruit, blood orange, bergamot. There's another orange, I believe a mandarin orange in there as well. But that's all of the top notes, essentially. All of the fruits and citruses right there. Not to mention the musk, some light woods in here and things like that. But that's kind of the gist of it right there. Everything I listed off, lemon, lime, bergamot, orange. It is a very sour and citric scent. I'm saying that 3 times fast, but it kind of smells a little bit like a Ventus. That's where you're going to see that comparison. More so Mont Blanc Explorer, given the level of kind of not only just quality, but just it doesn't have really the same type of pineapple birch combination going on. It's more like a Mont Blanc Explorer where they're just using kind of a woody, almost vetiver bergamot to achieve that similar style. So more similar to Explorer, but also quite a bit different given the level of punchy sourness that this one has that Aventus and Explorer really don't have, because those are definitely citrusy and woody, but this one first and foremost is citrusy and sour and fruity, and then some of those Aventus-like woods start to come in a bit later on. So that's kind of how I describe this one. Definitely some similarities, but also plenty of differences too. And this one is working its way down in price pretty quick. So generally discounter-wise, you're looking at about, let's just say, 80 to 85. I've seen testers, 100 ml testers come in stock for about 65 on Joma Shop. Those do sell through pretty quick. Ultimately, a fantastic warm weather scent that's a huge head turner. That's the thing. All of that sour, punchy citrus going on, this thing turns heads left and right. And it came out at kind of a weird time last year towards the end of summer. Actually, I think it was actually the start of fall. So didn't really work out the best for us. But now that we've got the full year ahead, spring and summer, gonna be a perfect time to wear that one. Let's finish things off with Coach Green. This one's got kiwi, bergamot, and rosemary. Really nice green, soapy, fresh scent with a bit of a unique twist, I have to say. I wasn't expecting that at all. Now, it still smells a little bit like the original Coach, which kind of has this somewhat Dior Sauvage type of smell, but the kiwi, that's what sets this one apart. It smells, man, it smells really nice. Green, kind of sweet, fruity, and then you get that musky, ambroxany, Sauvage, Coach type of smell further on in the base. You know, retail price is not something I'm going to be jumping on, but you don't really have to because this one has been at discounters for a while now, and I can't remember the price off the top of my head, but I know it's significantly below retail. You might be able to score this one for $40, $50 for 100 ml. I think that's a great price for that stuff. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some fantastic head-turning, fresh, warm weather scents that are worth checking out. Like I mentioned, I'll link all these down below to discounters, but that's going to do it for me. Hopefully it's warming up there where you are. Today it's going to be 80, which is just crazy because a couple of days ago it was like 50, 55. So if it's getting warm where you are, enjoy the weather. Pick up these scents because they work great for this stuff. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.